Why, hello everybody, and welcome back to Age of Strife. So, you guys have headed south through the still snowy grounds on the way to Rosebloom. The snow has been piling up. It actually hasn't stopped snowing in a couple of days. What was a couple of inches is now maybe 6 inches of snow.
Sounds like
And
some
it's
witchcraft.
it's pretty damn cold out. Let's see, where is our... Okay. So you can make your way south past Thorn Watch, all the way to Rosebloom, which is how far? Like 18 miles south of you? Somewhere around
Yeah.
here? Somewhere near Nixon? Yeah. Right about here-ish. Um, what is it, 18 miles? You're going on foot? Is it?
Um, I think we're taking our horses.
Going by horseback. Okay. So let's see. It's normally flat, even ground that you can ride at full speed, but the advent of snow, I think that reduces your movement rate by half. Let me take a look at the terrain modifiers. That must be in a different book. Must be in the DMG. No, not magical items. Time and movement. This is not quite Tundra. Tundra reduces your movement by 3, or one reduces it to 1/3. So yeah, we're gonna say it reduces it by half. So 18 miles is like 36 miles, and your horses are going 36 in a day. So hey, you can get to Rosebloom, in 1 day exactly.
Nice.
Planned it.
Yeah. So, rather than going straight in, we want to circle around to the side where the cemeteries are.
Right, right.
And I think we'll give it like a pretty wide berth so that, maybe stay behind some hills so that
Okay.
we can't view from the city. And is it nightfall now?
It is. By the time you get there, it is dark.
Okay. So, we'll tie up our horses behind some hills that are, if there's some hills near the cemetery.
There's not. It's open, flat land all around here.
Okay. So I guess I'll sit on horseback and just kind of look into the cemetery. Do I see anything really? It's fairly dark, I guess, but do I see any lights?
It's overcast at night. But that's not the right calendar. Here's the right calendar. But it is the night of the full moon, actually. But it's still overcast and lightly snowing. So there's probably not much in the way of light. But you don't see any lights coming from within the cemetery.
Okay. Well, if there are trees nearby, I will get off my horse and tie it up.
There are trees on the inside of the cemetery and maybe the occasional one on the outside.
Okay.
And there's that short wall that goes around it that's maybe like, waist high. Just a symbolic wall. Maybe keep some animals out.
Yeah. So I guess we can tie it to a tree or that wall.
Okay.
And Luther will get off his horse, and I suppose I'll remember which crypt we were already in.
Yes.
Okay. So I will just kind of glance at that one and make sure there's no spooky ghosts flying around.
You don't see any spooky ghosts flying around.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
And yeah. And I will head to the one that's nearest to that.
All right. The two of you crunch your way through the snowy cemetery until you get to the crypt. You don't have much in the way of light, and you're both fairly chilly. I guess you have some heavy cloaks with you, so maybe not that cold.
Fur cloak.
You get to the crypt. There's a nice big lock on it. You've got your lock picks, and what is your chance to pick locks?
75.
Oh, wow. I
It
don't
is
think
up.
there's any reason that I need to make that roll in secret. So why don't you D100, 75 or lower opens the lock.
Oh, I did something wrong. Oh yeah, I know what I did wrong. Nice.
Ooh, nice. It takes you maybe 2 minutes to get the lock open, and eventually it comes open and the gate starts to creak. Its hinges are a little offset with an.
Okay. Um, I guess I start walking inside, and I tell Arthur to light up a torch if he has one.
I didn't bring any with me.
Well, I will pull the lantern I have out of my bag and give it to him.
You, the most prepared grave robbers.
All right. Yeah, well, I have 8 flasks of oil, but no torches or lanterns.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just make you carry the lantern from now on since you have the oil, because I don't have it. Well, I have 1 flask, but oh, well, that's fine.
All right. I'll add it to my character sheet.
Okay. And I will, once he gets the lantern lit, I will continue venturing down.
Okay. You head down the crypt, down the spiral staircase that winds down to the lower level of the crypt. You look around, and similar to the last one, this has multiple chambers to go, but rather than immediately forking into 3 different areas, this has a cross. There's 4 different ways. You can go forward, backwards, left, or right.
Okay. Are there any inscriptions like on the, like if there's something coming down from the ceiling a little ways?
Yes. On the walls are marked date ranges. So it seems to have, people from this era are buried here, people from this era are here, people from this era there, and the last one has ranges. It has from this range to, and it's not finished. So there's one section that's clearly the more recent.
I will go to the oldest one and creep my way down that hallway.
Okay. You make your way down the oldest path. When you come to, again, there's lots of those little crypts on the side, or little holders on the side with bodies stacked in there. But eventually you come to a gate like you have in the previous ones.
Yeah.
This gate is made out of bronze, and it shimmers in the light like it's been kept up somehow.
Interesting. Well, if there's a lock on it, Luther will immediately go to that and investigate it and begin to pick it, if possible.
Yeah, give me just 1 sec. Hold on, I need to sort some things out.
Okay.
Arthur ruefully mutters under his breath something about no respect for the dead or the gods.
Uh-oh. Where's my information? Ugh. Okay, what is your 75% chance? Go ahead and give me a pick locks roll. 24. You indeed open the lock.
Boy. Okay, Luther smiles a bit because he's still never failed to pick a lock and slowly walks in.
Okay.
Glancing around.
You push the gate open and take a step through, And as you step through, there's a bit of a snapping sound, and the ceiling above you begins to collapse onto you. Give me a saving throw versus death.
That's not good. Your death save is 12.
So 12 or higher?
Yeah.
No good. The ceiling directly on the other side of the gate just comes crumbling down and lands on top of you. You take 10 points of damage from the rubble as the earth and stone just crumbles onto you. Arthur, you can see that it doesn't completely block the entire entranceway, but it is a large chunk of what appears to be intentional, like, rubble, not just the earth around the thing. It definitely looks like this was an intentional trap. You can see Luther sprawled out on the ground underneath, his head buried, probably suffocating. He's got 1/3 his con number of rounds left to live.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, buried underground. You can hold your breath for 1/3 your con.
So I can see him though.
You
still?
can see his legs sticking out the back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Arthur will run over then and try to start digging him out and say like swearing at the same time, like, when you disrespect the gods, they disrespect you.
Right. I'm gonna say it's gonna take one successful strength check to clear the rubble.
Okay.
So you have 3 rounds, I think. What's 1/3? Yeah, you've got 9 cons. So
Holy
3 rounds to make a strength check.
please.
All right, round 1, clear rubble. That's probably how you spell it. There you go. Well, 29.
All right. You successfully clear the rubble away from Luther, who comes, gasping for breath on the other side.
Arthur just stands over him, says, "Are you all right?"
Luther just nods and like staggers to his feet and just these fucking people.
These fucking people.
Yep. Arthur just crosses his hands and looks at you judgmentally.
My find remove traps is 5%. Okay, I'm just gonna. I look around.
There is a hallway before you, maybe 10 feet long, not that long, and on the other side is an open area with what seems to be 6 sarcophaguses in 3 columns of 2. They look old, but at the same time they look... I guess, your lantern light shines pretty far. So you can see that they look like they've been recently dusted or brushed off. It looks like this area is frequently maintained.
Okay. I say, we forgot something. And I put on Ty's mask, which I don't know what animal it is, but I should ask him. But yeah, so I put Ty's mask on, and I nod to Arthur, and so there's a bunch of rubble on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's say the first 5 feet of this tunnel have been strewn with rubble. There's like another 5 feet, and then the opening out into the 20 by 20 room.
Okay, I will climb onto the rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not.
I mean, you're on the rubble, like it's everywhere, right?
Yeah. So I'll move forward to the edge of it, and I'll start picking up rocks and rolling them across the room.
Okay, so you start rolling these rocks as far as you can.
Yeah.
Let's see. You just kind of roll down the hallway.
Okay. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen again. And
What? We're still going after that? I mean, Luther, that's a sign from the gods, Luther. We shouldn't be doing this.
Since one of the gods helped anybody?
Well, I don't know, but they certainly are telling you don't do this.
Well, we'll see. And I keep going.
Okay.
And if there's, I guess the hallway ends and it opens up into a room.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick up some of the rocks I rolled down the hallway and roll them into the room.
Okay. Can I get a perception check from Luther at like -5?
Okay. That's probably going to fail, but I can try. Oh.
All
I
right.
can see.
So you come to you come past these 5 feet, and as you're starting to roll these rocks into the next room, you notice this really thin, dark wire that stretches across about at chest level at this break.
How did these people get inside? They dusted the sarcophaguses, but they have traps. Luther's just shaking his head, and he's very annoyed by this. All right, Arthur, there's a wire, and I'll like point along it to show what height it's at, and I'll say, I think if we crawl under it, we'll be fine.
All right. You think it's another trap then?
Yes, I could. I don't know why else a wire would be here. I could try to activate it, but who knows what the trap is? It could blow up the entire crypt. So yeah, let's get under it, and well, this better be worth it.
All right. All right.
And Luther will, I guess, crawling under it's probably the easiest way to make sure he won't touch it. I don't want to do like the limbo or anything. That'd be bad.
It's at chest height, so you could just duck under it. Yeah, it's not difficult to bypass once you can see that it's there. You step into the other room with a slightly raised ceiling and notice on the back side of this entryway, there are 3 axes connected by a pole attached to kind of like a hinge that are held up. Looks like the axes are designed to come and swing down at whatever's standing in that. Anything that would be walking in through that front passage.
Well, that's the trap. Well, I will approach. Is there like a sarcophagus in the center, or are they all on the sides?
No, it's 3 columns kind of coming down the middle. 3 columns in 2 rows. So evenly distributed.
Well, I will approach the one closest to me and look at the inscription, I guess, because there's probably one of those.
Yes. It is a brass inscription that looks like it's been fairly recently cleaned and polished. And it says, in kind of an older script, it's definitely... This tomb is from 600 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Lady Laura Wyatt.
The Wyatts. My apologies. And I push the sarcophagus open.
All right. Arthur, where are you? Are you still outside the first section? Have you come in all the way?
Yeah, I'd say I'm standing like in front of where the wire is, so I haven't gone under it yet. I'm just watching Luther.
Okay. Luther, you knock open the sarcophagus. The lid slides, topples to the ground, and breaks. Kind of cracks in the middle. Inside is the desiccated corpse of a woman wearing a elegant gown of some sort of green material with all sorts of little beads and minor gems all over it. You know, ornamental things decorating it all over the place, like a primitive form of expensive sequins.
Okay.
The cloth seems to be in relatively good condition.
That's slightly strange, but I don't know how corpse preserving works, so maybe it's not. So there's no jewelry or anything like that?
Well, you'd have to start moving the corpse around to look for it.
Then that's what I will do.
All right. You do indeed find bracelets and rings on the old fingers. No necklace or amulets, nothing adorning the head. It's just a bracelet on the left arm, and 3 fingers on the left hand, 2 fingers on the right hand. The left hand is conspicuously missing a wedding ring from it. So it's 2 rings on the middle finger, 1 ring on the index finger on the left hand. The right hand has middle finger and ring finger.
Okay, so 5 rings and was it 2 bracelets or 1 bracelet?
1 bracelet.
Okay. I will take all those off gingerly and toss them into my loot backpack.
Okay. Loot acquired.
Okay. Well, Ginger gives Arthur a thumbs up. Ginger. Luther gives Arthur a thumbs up. Yeah, Luther gives a thumbs up and moves over to the next sarcophagus.
All right, we can just repeat this with all of them. Arthur, what level of participation are you having in this?
0.
All right, so you're watching from the other side of the wire as your liege lord is looting the corpses of one of the second most powerful noble family.
Yep.
Okay. You can move through it and gather a bunch of loot. We don't have to describe all of them in detail. I'll just give you a GP value at the end. But you go head through and loot all the corpses, collecting a decent amount of semi-precious jewelry and some precious jewelry.
Nice.
Can you make me an appraisal check?
Yeah. It's nice having high int for these things. And now that I said that, I'll roll a 1. But...
It's
sure
about...
high int.
If these were market value, you would probably have like 1,500 gold worth of stuff in your bag right now.
Whew. I'm rich. Now the question is, do we stop there and take what we got, or have some more rocks fall on us? And I almost got killed by rocks falling on me. The classic. Well, after doing all that, I will get back under the trap and walk back to the main entrance.
Okay. You slide your way into the trap, head back to that initial fork.
Yep. And I look down the hallway of the next oldest crypt. And I guess the rocks are back down that hallway, so that's kind of inconvenient. I will stand there looking at the entranceway into the hallway and just stare at it for a little while, looking for any horrible things.
The only horrible thing you see is yourself.
Well, okay. If he sees no horrible things, he moves forward down the hallway, and every few steps, I think, I'm going to stand there and look for horrible things.
Arthur is holding the lantern.
Yeah, just standing behind me with the lantern, shaking your head.
You make your way down this hall. There's graves on either side of you. Eventually, you come. There's no gate on this one. The path just opens up into a square room. A rectangular room. This one's a little bit longer. It's like 40 by 20. And there are 3 columns of sarcophagi, with 4 rows in it.
Okay.
That's 12 sarcophagi.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the ground because I think it'd be fairly easy to see like a tripwire on the ground or like with the background as the ground because they're probably different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look at the ground and make sure there's no tripwires there, and then I'm gonna like go prone and do like the soldier crawl into the room.
Can you give me a detect traps check?
No.
5%, you can do it. Oh, maybe not. So you start, crawling across the ground. That's an interesting technique. Give me another perception check at -5, please, independent of the find traps check.
Oh.
Okay. You start crawling across the ground.
Yeah, I'm moving very slowly. So
yeah, as you get to, there's a certain point where you're like halfway through the entryway where the ground just gives out underneath the middle of your belly. And you begin to fall, but you're prone, which is actually like the best possible situation for this, since I think part of you. How tall are you? You're 5'7". So you've got like 7 inches outside of this hip hole because it's like a 5x5 hole.
My arms, right?
It doesn't trip with a little bit of weight. It takes a certain amount of weight before it breaks. It's a well-designed pit trap.
Yeah, well, you kind of lean on your arms though when you're doing that.
Yeah. But it waits until you're mostly across it. So I'm going to give you a pretty significant bonus to your saving throw versus death for this one, since you're prone and stretched out. So let's give you a saving throw versus death at a +5.
Okay, I just need a 7.
Optimal crawling situation.
Ooh.
I do like a backflip.
Right. It begins to break. You brace yourself on the sides and push yourself up and roll back. And
maybe I like do the worm backwards.
Ooh. All right. You escape the pit trap, and you can see down. No, you can't because the light's behind you. But it takes a little while for the things to crumble to the bottom.
This is definitely the last one. My eyes are not good enough for this. Maybe I should have Arthur be looking for this stuff because he sees much better than I do, apparently. I have old man eyes. So, how far is the pit across?
5 feet.
Can I jump that?
I think with a running jump, you should be able to clear 5 feet.
Is there anything on the ceiling that I can attach a grappling hook to?
No.
Swing across? Okay.
No. I didn't describe the walls in this place, but they're not earthen walls. They're stone walls everywhere.
Okay.
Hold on, let me take a look at the jumping proficiency to see what a proficiency gives you. Character can... If a character has a 20-foot start, he can broad jump 2d6 plus his level in feet. So that's if you have a jumping proficiency and a 20-foot start. So, from a standing, you can broad jump d6 plus half. So I'm going to say if you've got a 20-foot running start, which you can't quite get, yeah, you could probably get a 20-foot running start in here. You could probably do... I want to say like 2d4 plus nothing, just 2d4.
Can I attach my hook to something on the other side? Like the wall?
The only things on the other side are... maybe.
Like if it opens out into a room, maybe I could get it hooked on the wall.
There is a corner there, but the angle is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And the grappling hook is not guaranteed to hold.
How wide is the pit? Like depth-wise, how far would you have to jump?
About 5 feet. 2d4 averages to 5.
I don't know if I want to try that. Do I have any other jumping aids? I can make myself taller. Or I can
you have a squire.
Plank across.
Yeah, just use the squire as a gangplank. Lay him over the pit. Walk across
I am
him.
taller than the pit is wide, so
I'm actually taller than it is wide too, so technically I should be able to fall down and grab it.
And then just hope your fingers don't slip and you fall into it.
Yeah. I don't know about this. Can I make a bridge out of rope?
You would need something to attach it to, and then you'd need like a what do you call it? Tightrope walking proficiency.
Well, I have acting. That's kind of the same thing.
No, it's nothing. It's not at all the same thing. They're entirely unrelated.
what if you do an assisted jump? Can Arthur
Throw
help him
me
jump
across.
over?
I'm
I
pretty
think
light.
I think an assisted jump would just give him like a running start. I don't think you could running start assisting jump him.
So he can't just like throw me.
No. Unless he has like massive strength and you're very light.
Oh, I only weigh 140 pounds. Not too much.
I mean, I couldn't throw him all the way, but he if I'm thinking like if I kneel down and I do the thing with my hands, and like if he steps off of my hands while I throw him over,
That's true.
that sort of thing.
But there's also the possibility in that situation that you guys don't time it out right, or your hands don't hold his weight, and he just kind of slips through and tumbles headfirst into the pit.
Are the walls smooth?
They're placed bricks. Like, they're climbable walls. They're like, think of it like castle walls.
Okay, so I could try to climb across.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
try and scale the side of it. You've got to climb. What's your climb walls check?
70%.
Okay, and then there's going to be modifiers for the type of walls and all that stuff. So let me take a look at that. Time
Yeah.
and movement, climbing. Okay. La 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 la. No, those are all fine. So I don't think there is a bonus or a penalty to this.
I still
Are you
have a
wearing any
pickaxe.
armor?
Yeah, I'm wearing all my armor, but
Okay.
I can take it off, I guess. And I have a pickaxe. Could I use that as like a climbing pick?
Mm-mm. Climbing picks really, you would need some sort of crack to get it into, and this is a pretty good wall.
Well, and Arthur has a rope use proficiency, so I could tie you a little harness and then anchor you.
Ah, that's interesting.
So
Oh, I
in
could-
case you fall, I'll just grab you.
Yeah. I have 50 feet of rope. That's
Mhm.
a lot of rope. So is there is there a barred gate like coming into the
No
thing?
gate. No gate at all.
Like all the way back at the end, like at the entrance.
No. The only gate you've seen so far is the one down the other pathway.
Well, I picked a lock to get in.
Oh, you mean all the way up? Yeah, if you go
Yeah.
up the spiral staircase, there's a gate up there.
Is that? Oh yeah, it's all the way up the staircase.
It's all the way up the staircase and down the hallway, so that's more than 50 feet.
Is it worth it? Okay, I'm gonna take off my armor and like tell Arthur to tie a rope around me and make sure I don't fall. Oh, this is awful.
Beautiful.
Is this really worth it?
All the money. Power.
You have like
I have to
50
get
feet
back
of rope.
across too. Yeah, I have 50 feet of rope.
Oh, getting back across is easy though, because I'll still be on the other side and have the rope.
And then I could jump and you could pull me or something, and that'd be pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop. What do I have in my character? I have 1 silver and 4 copper. I'm gonna drop a copper into the pit.
All right. It tumbles down and clinks against something metallic at the base.
Probably spikes.
Yeah, if you had a lantern, you could shine it down there and get a good view of it.
So if I make myself bigger, how much will that help me? Will it help me at all?
I mean, if you're taller, you could maybe even just step across it.
Yeah. I'd have to be pretty tall for that, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stepping 5 feet. Can I step 5 feet? Probably not. Not with like a decent degree of balance. Do I know if Arthur could like hold me up if I fall? Because I feel like 140 pounds falling with like a guy trying to hold you is. It seems like it wouldn't work that well.
I mean, I shouldn't really have any problems holding you.
Yeah, Arthur's got like 16 strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't
Fail a
seriously
strength check.
fuck up. Yeah, it would be a strength check just to
Okay.
hold on to you. And if
I
he
believe.
really fails his strength check, if he rolls like a 1, he might fall into the pit with you, but there'll be some saving throws in there. It's not, it's pretty hard for
Yeah.
him to fall in, but
Okay.
it's definitely
I believe.
possible.
I take off my armor and tie a rope to me, give Arthur the other end, and start climbing the walls across.
Okay, give me a climb walls check. I'm going to say these are average walls. They haven't been well maintained. They've probably been maintained since their initial creation, but they haven't been eroded away. They're not perfectly smooth, so no penalties and no bonuses. You're going to have to take off your armor and take off, get yourself out of encumbrance to have no penalties, though.
Okay, how can I do that? I can keep backpack. So if I take off my armor, I can keep basically everything else. Yeah, I'll leave my armor and my shield behind, and I'll take everything else with me.
So
Probably.
does this 70% include your penalty for armor, or... Because you get penalties to all your
yeah,
thief skills for wearing things.
With the penalty for armor, it's minus 25%. So yeah, it's 70 base.
Okay, so 70 is base.
Yeah.
With no armor gives you a 10% bonus.
Oh really?
Padded or... Yeah, so it's like leather armor gives you no penalty. No armor gives you a bonus of 10. Padded, or it says studded leather, but we don't use studded leather, so it would be padded or chain is a minus 30%.
Okay. That's weird. I had it written down wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's 80% without armor on.
Right. So it starts at 60. Base is 60%, and there's no bonus for anything else. So you've put 20 points into climb walls. 30 points into climb walls?
I've put some points into it. I don't know how many, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and give us the D100, 80 or lower.
I am fine.
All right, you spider your way across the walls. It takes you a little while because you're being careful, but it's not too difficult. It's only 5 feet, so just... and you're across. There's this nice big chamber with all these sarcophagi on it.
Well, I hope no ghosts pop out, and I open the first one I see. I read the inscription first, though, because I'm interested what family crypt this is. Or
it's the whole crypt is the Wyatt crypt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, usually all families are buried together in one. You wouldn't have...
That makes sense. Yeah. I thought maybe the chambers might be different families, but that makes sense.
So you move from sarcophagus to sarcophagus, gathering the various forms of loot. This is not as old, but there are more bodies here. But it didn't have a gate, and this is not as big of a hall. So you grab... Give me an appraisal check.
Okay.
Sure. This has about 500 GP worth of various small bits of loot here and there. Mostly in the form of jewelry, but there's also a couple of art objects. Someone's buried with a what do you call it? Like a mother of pearl mask that would be worn over the face. That's on their face, and you take it off, and you can see that the face is badly deformed. Like Phantom of the Opera style mask with maybe a little bit more detail. It's just kind of, but it's mother of pearl. The front.
Yeah. That's fancy.
Hmm.
Oh.
That's the most valuable thing you come across. Everything else are little bits of rings here, or a necklace there, earring here or there.
Okay, well, with all that, I will climb back across the wall. Do I make another climb check even though I passed already? Or...
No, we'll just say you can climb right back. It's fine.
Okay. And I give Arthur a thumbs up again and untie the rope.
Oh, there's one more. You want to do that too? We're going to leave the whites anything?
I am tempted.
That-
Well, I'll start throwing some rocks down the hallway and see what happens.
It's not what I... All right.
There's two more, so you're throwing down the last one that's been ended. The other remaining hallway is one that hasn't been... the end date isn't finalized on it.
Yeah.
You toss rocks down the hallway to no avail. Also, why don't you just give me a find traps check?
That's going to be bad. Oh, I have a really good idea, actually.
Send Arthur first?
No, that's bad leadership. Well, it's not bad leadership. Well, anyway, the good idea is I take the rope, put a grappling hook on it, and throw it down the hallway. So the rope will come down over any tripwires.
Okay.
So if there's a tripwire trap, then it'll hit it.
Nope. It goes down the hallway. This hallway does have a gate at the end of it as well. I think the light on your lantern is enough that you can see all the way to the end of the hallway.
Okay, so after that works out, I'll walk up to the gate and try to pick the lock. I guess I put my armor back on too.
Give me an open locks check. 59. That is a pass.
Yep.
As you're picking the lock, out from the locking mechanism comes a small golden needle that pokes as kind of a jabbing motion at your hand.
Do I have gloves on?
Unless you normally have gloves on, I don't think so.
I don't know if you wear gloves normally with armor or not.
No.
Okay. No, I don't.
You probably couldn't pick a lock with them on anyways.
Yeah, you'd want to take the gloves off for that anyway. So
Okay.
you get jabbed by this golden needle.
I rolled to suck. First I roll a toxicology check, I guess. I don't know what it would do. Can I tell if poison was injected into me already?
I don't think there's any way to tell with a toxicology check if that's been happened, but it stands to reason that they wouldn't just prick you with a needle for no reason, right?
So I guess I rolled a suck because I don't know what else to do.
Okay, you start sucking on your finger.
Yeah, and I say, Arthur, I think I just got poisoned. So if I start feeling something starting to act, can I roll a toxicology check then and see what it is?
Yeah, once the symptoms start coming on, you can
Yeah.
roll a toxicology check to see if you can recognize it, but you would have to wait for symptoms to kick in. And
Let's
by
roll
that
it.
point, it might be a little bit too late.
Do I need a suck skill? Or-
No. Sucking the poison out is not an actual option.
I wonder if I should cut my hand off.
Well, you don't have much time to make that decision because poison enters
Does
the
the door
bloodstream.
unlock, or does it do it
Oh, no, yeah, you totally unlock the door. Absolutely.
Okay, well, with the door unlocked, I will start sprinting out of the crypt and start running to a place with plants.
Door's unlocked and you bolt for the exit.
Yeah.
Okay. Arthur, what do you do?
I shake my head and follow after him.
Okay.
Did you pick up your armor and stuff before
Yeah, I
all
put
of
it
this?
on
Mm-hmm.
before I started doing the lock.
Okay.
So you get back out into the graveyard, but I don't think you're gonna find any anti-venoms in here. What are you gonna do?
If I don't find any antivenoms in the graveyard, I will run to my horse and get on and start riding towards the forest. It'll take forever to get to the forest.
It'll take forever to get to the forest,
I'll
and
ride towards somewhere where I think there might be an anti-venom of some kind.
maybe in town someone will know something.
No thanks. Well, maybe
Well, at night when everything's covered with snow, your chances of finding something that you can then make into an anti-venom, I mean, that it's hopeless. I would give you a 1 in 100 chance just because it's D&D.
I start. Where do I think? I wonder what would happen if I went to the centaurs. They're probably more likely to know stuff about venom. Well, I will start riding back to Wadsworth. I'll just sprint back.
You don't say anything to Arthur. You just run out of the keep and get on your horse and take off.
Arthur, if I passed out, take me back. And if I die, well, it's going to happen eventually.
All right.
Okay. Can you give me a poison save?
Yeah. It's 12, so.
12 or higher.
Ooh, yeah. Where am I when I make this poison save?
I haven't rolled the onset time yet.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8. Oh god, that's the wrong die type. Ugh, that's too many dice. Just gonna roll it here.
Do you have to pass your save to save, or do you just have to hit it?
You just have to hit it.
Okay. I was gonna say, because if I was level 4 and you had to pass it, I would have died. Well, maybe I would.
So it's about an hour in your, bolting sprint to Wadsworth that you feel this fever coming on. Your body begins to tremble and shake. You can go ahead and make me a toxicology check to see if you can figure out what this is.
What's my check? 15. No. Good enough, I think.
Okay. You even with a 24, you have no idea what this is. The symptoms are a little bit odd. It's somehow strange, but you find yourself just kind of going faint. And you are debilitated. Your stats are reduced to half. Your AC and hit have penalties of 5. And you just can't even really push your horse at this point. You're lying on the horse's neck, breathing slowly, exhausted, feverish, sweating all over the place, and freezing at the same time.
Okay. Well, I will wave off the horse if I can to Arthur, and if he pulls up beside me or something, I'll just say, "Lead me back." I think I'll be okay, but I'm not feeling good.
Arthur, remembering the recent death of Annis, trying to do similar things, says, Nope, we're stopping.
No, I'll make it back. I have to get back to the greenhouse and see if I can heal myself.
We were, a day away from Wadsworth?
Yeah. Plus, if they follow our... Is it still snowing?
Yep.
I look behind us.
There are clear tracks in the snow.
Where's Darbloon?
Darbloon is maybe 5 miles north of Rosebloom. So you're fairly close to Darbloom by now if you've been riding through the snow.
Okay.
at night you can't go nearly as quickly into the snow. You can't go as quickly, so you're near Darbloon. It's got to be forward ahead. I guess you can maybe even see the light coming from the keep of Darbloon.
Okay, well, I'll point there and say let's stay with the green dolls. And when we get there, you have to cover our tracks.
I should be doing that now.
Yeah, we'll do it now then, because we can't let them know.
How do you cover your tracks in the snow?
Get a big branch.
Isn't that just going to leave branch marks in the snow?
Is it still snowing?
It is gently snowing, very gently.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can't, huh? Well,
I think when we get into town,
maybe if I had a brush, we could. Yeah.
If we get into town, you could kind of like muddle them, and yeah, but they'd still probably know like we're the only ones that come riding into town at night. Fuck it. Let's. I waved to Arthur again and say, no, we can't. Never mind. We have to camp somewhere.
All right. Let's go off the trail a bit here. See if we can find some trees or something.
Yeah, and once we get there, just mess up the tracks, make sure they don't know where we went.
All right. So I'll lead him towards some woods or something.
Well, take a look at the map. There's not much in the way of woods around here. This is open farmland. The meadowlands are peaceful and, there's a couple of trees. You might find like a small cluster of trees in one spot, but there's definitely no heavily wooded areas. And for reference sake, you guys are about like here.
We can go stay in Nixon for the night, and they'll think the monsters took the money, the jewels. Probably won't. That'd be weird. Also, going to Nixon's a bad idea.
Yeah. Okay, I think if we just find like a small cluster of trees, that would do.
Sure, you can find a trio of trees. Very small grove. They look like acorn trees. There's a small shrine to Martha nestled in between them. Just a little statue on a small raised thing. It's got like a little house built over it. Whole thing's maybe 2.5 feet high. There are offerings of copper coins on it, as well as some food offerings that haven't been eaten by wild animals yet.
Well, I guess we get off our horse in the trees, and Luther, like, I don't know if I can really set up a tent at this point, but
Arthur can.
Yeah,
so.
That's the plan.
All right, you set up a tent and camp down in the trees for the night, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we go to our break, and when we come back, we'll see what happens in the morning. See you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.